Okay, we're back to now this format. Really enjoyed that chat with Aaron, and as you can tell, we really only scratched the surface, so I encourage you to take advantage of his offer for those many resources. Even if this is something distant in terms of an aspiration for acquiring a business or achieving scalable growth, get as far ahead of this as you possibly can. And just know that not only have we been around this block many times, but so has Skyview. And they can really accelerate the outcomes that you're looking for. Okay, so let's switch gears. That's actually a perfect segue because we're not just going to be talking about growth, but again, the combination of those dynamics between organic and scalable growth. I've been saying a lot, just to play on the cliche, when the growing gets tough, the tough keep growing. I know. But ultimately, what it means is the best just keep adapting and finding a way. And in many ways, putting some distance between themselves and the rest of the pack. Obviously, from an organic standpoint, we've said it, that you are at your highest level of referability right now. And there are specific steps you can take to capitalize on that. But remember, your organic business is a proof of concept that the moment it is captured and transformed into an intellectual property that you can put in the hands of somebody else, you're now in a position to attract people and liberate them. And you're in a position to go out and acquire a business. And as you've heard, that is not only the next frontier, the velocity of that is going to pick up dramatically. So Marci Fried, again, long-term friend, started as a client and now a absolute elite professional coach specifically for teams. She's going to host a roundtable with two exceptional teams, with one of which being Chris Garcia and Tanya Radford, and the other being Scott Burford and Charlie Burford. And both who happen to be in the Big D in Texas, but of course not connected. But this roundtable discussion with these two elite franchise-ready teams who have already taken their businesses to new heights through a scalable acquisition-based growth strategy. Marci, of course, is a certified Pareto Business Consultant, is going to lead this conversation and dive into what specifically these two top teams are doing to achieve success through this strategic approach, notwithstanding all the friction of the world. So Marci is going to especially focus on some of the adjustments these teams have made during this bizarre disruption and how they have taken advantage of the situation and created unique opportunities as a result. So Marci and company, take it away.
Thank you, Duncan. Well, I'm very excited today to bring to you our panel of two teams that we selected. Both of these teams I worked with for quite some time. And now with COVID, what really just gives me a lot of hope is that these folks that you're going to hear from have really made a commitment and a mindset to invest these experiences into their future. And again, to talk to all of you essentially every other week and see how you continue to move forward and adapt is something I think very valuable to the people that are going to be listening to and watching our webinar today. Let me introduce our panel, first of all. Scott, Charlie, not sure which one's the son or the father, but Scott, they'll have to guess. Scott, again, it's an incredible opportunity to work with a father and son and to see that dynamic and how your clients and your team benefits from this experience. And as you both know, multi-generational not only applies to clients, but it applies to many of our teams and is critical. So absolutely enjoy working with you. You continue to teach me, and I'm very thankful. In terms of these two, Tanya and Chris, who are in different locations, Tanya is the COO of Asmont, and Chris is the CEO of Asmont. And it has been quite the experience working with both of you. With that being said, let's move on to the question I would like to ask both of you. What have you done in the pandemic? How have you taken advantage of the situation and the unique opportunities presented? Tanya, why don't we start with you?
So one of the questions I got asked often during the shutdown was, well, are you enjoying your downtime? Are you getting some relaxation? And my answer was no. I'm working as much now or more than I really ever have before. So, during the shutdown, I think it highlighted a couple of things about our team, the culture that we have been focused on building, as well as the processes and all the work that we put into both internal, the teaming playbook, as well as the external playbook. So the culture that we've focused on is one of integrity, authenticity, and care for our team, as well as for our clients. A story that actually illustrates this well is one of our team members who, when she started a couple of years ago, she and her husband had gone on vacation. She had some health issues there. She had heart issues, like ongoing heart issues, and she needed to get back to her doctors in Dallas. Chris immediately offered, they were having issues with the flights and the plane. Chris immediately offered to buy her a plane ticket to get back to where she needed to be to get the care that she needed. So I think that the culture, as far as, the care for the clients, really starts with the care for the team. During the shutdown, we grew. We did a partial practice purchase. We've done a merger, and we've had great organic growth with clients. And one of the first things we did as a part of the merger was the ideal life worksheet, which we got great feedback from our team members. But the feedback that we got from the new team members we were bringing on, they were completely blown away. Their comments were, I can't believe it. I'm just amazed that you care about me as a person, about my whole life, not just about my 8 hours in the office. So I think that really with that culture of authenticity and care, focusing on that first with our team members allows them to show that to our clients. With the shutdown, the unique opportunities there, we, of course, everybody went overnight from working into the office to working remotely. We had to shift quickly to make sure that with that separation, that physical separation, we didn't develop feelings of isolation or complete separation from the team. So we immediately started doing daily check-ins, check-in with work. How are things going work-wise? But more importantly, how are things going with you? Are you doing okay? And that translated as well as with our clients. Of course, I'm sure everybody can relate with all the uncertainty, all of the craziness that people were hearing. We started getting phone calls. Clients were calling. And so we actually completely shut down our business as usual operations and shifted so that we could be very responsive. And I think our ability to do that was the fact that we were so well versed in our processes. We had the normal processes down that it was easy to shift and to really figure out what do the clients need now, and here's how we're going to deliver on that. So we had a goal of getting back to clients within an hour, 2 hours maximum, just so that they knew that we were hearing them. We wanted them to hear our voice instead of all the noise and the chatter that was going on outside. So I think with the authenticity and the care that we show our team members are actually able to show that very, very vividly and very, very truly to our clients as well.
So again, Tanya, that incredible mindset of you and Chris, that how essential your team is and how naturally going beyond, as you mentioned, their professional role is absolutely essential to sustainability and culture of your team. And just working with you and seeing how you're building your playbook and you're defining this so that going forward, you're also prepared to be able to adapt, because there is a lot of uncertainty right now. But again, Tanya, being the COO and really being so process driven, naturally you are very well prepared, frankly, for any eventuality. So thank you. I'm going to swing over to you, Chris. Same question, please.
Yeah, so as Tanya mentioned, we made a partial purchase and a merger all through the pandemic, and then also we rolled out our new brand, right? So we started about 3 years ago, and it's really evident to me that we had a lot of work to do behind the scenes, and so that's what Tanya was mentioning. We completely wrote our playbook, right? So as we kind of launched in 2020, we knew exactly how to launch it. Every team member knew exactly what their role was. And of course, I had a little bit of fear too. How is this going to be perceived by the clients? Again, are they more interested in themselves, or are they going to even be cognizant to what I have to say in terms of rolling out this new brand? And so I kind of pushed through that, but I was thinking about that today. I said, I drive an Escalade Cadillac, and Cadillac has changed their brand. They're of course a staple of luxury, right? They used to have their seal with the crest around it. And they've gotten rid of the crest, and they've got a completely new image. And as I was driving down the road this morning, I was looking at saying, wow, what a unique and fresh brand. And so I also am cognizant that we don't want to get stale with clients. And as I've rolled out this new brand, it's been very, very well received. So we kind of take an approach of helping our clients to navigate their lives in a 3D world, right? In a panoramic family office approach. And so that's kind of where we started with azimuth as a root word. And I looked around the country and I found hundreds of companies named azimuth, both financial related, non-financial related. And so, that's not going to work. It's not unique enough for us. And so, with that family office approach, I'd kind of run into a family office here in Dallas and kind of stole part of their word. They had a Mont at the end of their name. I said, all right, here we go. The Azimont Group is what we're going to name ourselves going forward. And again, relating back to that three-dimensional navigational approach, but from a family office perspective. And most of our clients don't know what a family office is. So it's been enlightening to help them to understand that we've really been serving as their family office. We just don't work for one family. We work for hundreds of families. And as I've rolled that out to clients and just illustrated the fact that there's some families we work with 3 and even 4 generations now, right? From grandparents all the way down to grandchildren. And that's really just kind of helped a few clients realize that, hey, you don't work with everybody in my family. And it's brought a lot of referrals just in introducing that dynamic. And then again, as Tanya mentioned, as we kind of shifted gears through February, March, and April, I was reminded of when I fly, right? If we're ever hitting, turbulence, I actually have the app, which I believe is FlightAware. I can track the plane's speed. I can track the plane's altitude. I can see where the flight plan is. I can see if it's changed, right? And I'm no pilot by any means. But when we hit turbulence in an airline, right, there's some pilots that don't say a word, right? But the pilots that I really enjoy flying with are the ones that come on the overhead speaker and say, hey, folks, we've hit a little bit of turbulence. We're trying to find some smooth air. It may take us about 10 more minutes, but we'll be through this in about that amount of time. And we're going to make any adjustments if we can prior to that to see if we can find some smooth air, right? And that's kind of how I look back at this pandemic, right? Is our clients needed to hear from us. We were hitting turbulence, right? And we shifted gears quickly and kind of scrapped our normal meetings. And like Tanya said, is got back in touch with folks as quickly as possible to let them know that, yes, we are hitting that turbulence and we're still in the office. We've scattered, but we're still all working and we're making sure we can find that smooth air for them. And the final piece of it is kind of as we've rolled out. Yeah. And so as we rolled it out and kind of, got back to clients here, for a second time since March and April, it's really focusing on how we articulate our service and our work with them. Right. And, I remember back to the first 90 days, and that's kind of where, when we started this process with you guys, with Pareto, with Marci, and with Duncan, that first 90 days was for me to reach out to our clients and ask, what do they like about me? Right? What would they change about the experience? And the third question was really unique, which is, when they describe me to a friend or a family member, how do they describe me? And what was interesting is the first question and the third question were the same answer. And it was more of, we like you, you have high integrity, but it was not about the process in terms of how we work with clients. And you can think about a steakhouse for a second, right? I was asking a friend, what their favorite steakhouse is and for them to describe it to me. And then I kind of shared with them my favorite steakhouse in Dallas is a steakhouse called Nick and Sam's, and they have a really great ambience. But what I really like about them is because anybody can cook a steak. I really love their appetizers and their sides and how it all comes together in that ambiance and the experience of dining there, right? And in explaining that to him, I was going through the details, right, which is not just the steak, it's what's around the steak. And so as I think of that, and I think about how we operate in our business, it's very similar. It's an experience, right? And rolling out the family office approach and how we've been working with them, and how we'll continue to work with them in articulating our value in a time like this, to know that we're there for them, and we're leading them through, we're navigating them through this pandemic has been very, very comforting. And I tell you, just getting into a better kind of dynamic of how I talk with the clients, right? What language we use to define that experience for them has really led us to a lot of referrals over the last quarter. I think we picked up about 36 call-in referrals just simply for going through and reframing how we've been working with them the whole time.
Well, Chris and Tanya, this is quite a partnership. And I think, everybody listening can clearly see that Chris has tremendous vision and incredible focus. And I don't think it's any surprise, Chris, that people really want to join your team. You're not going out there convincing others to join your team. They see this is someplace they want to be. Going back, Tanya, to this focus on team, really team first. There's this saying basically, to take exceptional care of others, you must first take exceptional care of yourself. And I know both of you extend that to your team, and naturally that aligns with your clients. So again, I'm so excited about the remainder of this year. Your momentum is pretty phenomenal. And in spite of everything that's been happening, you have really taken the opportunity to focus in on both your organic growth and, very importantly, your franchise readiness. So thank you both. At this time, I'm going to swing over to Scott and Charlie. Now, Charlie and Scott, we have two questions for you. The first is, you recently made a major transition in your business. Can you tell us about this experience? And the second question is, after the transition, very importantly, in what ways are you seeing growth?
You want to start?
Who wants to start?
I'll go ahead and start. As you mentioned, Marci, I've been in the business for a long time. I've been in the investment world since I graduated from college, even before then. And I've only been on what I call the retail side of it since the early 90s, and never thought I would be on the retail side. Never thought that my son would ever have an interest in joining the business, but it's happened that way, and it's absolutely it's wonderful to have a wonderful thing going. After doing it myself for a number of years, and you kind of get set in ways. And for me, I had an assistant along the way, and then in 2000, Charlie joined me, and it was a little bit of a transition, and he brought in some new ideas, and again, I'd been doing it myself for a long time, and so as he meet with clients, we would review those things, and Charlie would interject. We do a lot more for clients and manage their investment. And so we started thinking about, we were transaction-based, commission-based platform. And so Charlie brought in the idea of what do you think about fee-based? And so we talked about that. And I was, some people say I'm stubborn. I don't know how they would come up with that. So Charlie had a mission, and really the stars aligned about a year ago. And we had been working with Marci and Pareto for a couple of months, and in about September, October last year, we made the decision to really pursue transitioning not only to fee-based, but transitioning to an RIA. And so in the process of that, we really relied on Marci's guidance and using the Pareto system because Pareto works with a number of teams that are transaction based as well as fee-based. And so that I knew the lay of the land. And so that sort of was a little bit of an alignment of the stars. And as far as the details of that, Charlie, do you want to speak a little bit to that?
Yeah, so I would, with regard to the trend, I think it was a real challenge to us. And, we get started aligning. Fortunate to have experienced people like Marci and Duncan with us to guide us through that. And one of the things that we've implemented that gave us a lot of confidence, making this move from, hey, from a client perspective, pay you when you do a trade for us, a commission, that's work. Going from that, we were probably timid on how are we going to justify having a annual fee, every month it's a month fee. And there's 4 things that we did during the transition was having meetings quarterly with our clients and making sure we scheduled it before they leave the door, which much of that we learned to Marci. And that's been huge. Another thing is the fact that we have a process now and we can talk about it, it actually educates our clients on what our value is. And oftentimes we've been able to add value that we weren't doing for them in the past model. And the other thing I wanted, I guess I had 3, but Marci, we really wanted to take this opportunity to thank you. I don't know if you could tell during this transition, it was a quick transition. We did this for 2 months. We didn't really know where to set our fee, what to focus on, as we had conversations with our clients and so forth. And thank you for guiding, because we were lost and a little scared for the transition, and it ended up. So thank you for that. And welcome. I know you had another question for us, so we'll second half focus on the growth component if we have time. Yes.
Are we okay on time?
Yeah, we're good on time. I'd love you to answer that. Thank you.
Yeah, just to finish up on that first question, the transition for us was not all roses. We're so happy that we've done it, but we lost full of clients that did not make the move with us, and that was pretty upsetting. And there was significant assets. But would we do it all? Absolutely. For us, so again, right. But getting to growth, like going forward, we've really been more organic, and that's fit into as well. The first time we met Duncan was at our summer annual sales meeting where he spoke. It was early summer last year. And one of the things that Charlie and I was the idea of converting your clients to advocates. And that's sort of a hallmark of Pareto. And it fit with us because we were getting referrals from our clients, but not very robust. Occasionally we would get a referral. And so we really liked that idea. And So now that we have this platform that's a structure that we implement with all of our client meetings, we have actually seen some very organic growth through 401k, money and just money, cash in bank accounts, and through other smaller brokerage accounts that transfer to us, and so that growth has been really beneficial for us. And so we have not really moved to acquisitions and mergers at this point, but we feel like the advisor playbook has sort of positioned us for that. And so we do have that platform that we think is scalable. And so at some point in the near future, we'll probably be exploring that.
Yeah, and then the only other thing I would add, just to speak to maybe how we've seen growth. Dad said it's coming from 401ks or just existing clients' cash, and then also referrals. But as far as why we think that happens, I spoke to this a little bit earlier, but just having that legitimate process and repeatable process in place. I think before our transition to Burford Brothers at our old firm, we were kind of random in how we organized client meetings. Sometimes we'd call them, sometimes they'd come in. Some clients were honestly neglected. And now we have a process that all of our clients are on that existing client process. And so I think through that, the trust, our clients already trusted us, but now I think there's a stronger bond there, and they realize that we're working hard for them behind the scenes more than they realize in the time. And really the core component of that is we've done the shoot your trailer a lot for clients, and, it just educates them so well on what we can do for them.
Scott and Charlie, I found in life that it's not a matter of if change will happen, it's a matter of when. And your recent transition and focus on your processes and your messaging around the move for your clients resulted in a substantial retention rate. Creating relationships with your clients beyond the wealth management role and positioning your team as your client's personal CFO, complete family office, and having a deeper understanding of their family and their occupation and their recreational pursuits kept the focus on what mattered. The paperwork, all of that was not where we wanted the clients to focus, and your transition was successful. All four of you mentioned that your Pareto playbooks have been instrumental in delivering both organic and being prepared for acquisition growth. What we are finding is that the pandemic, in many cases, has accelerated the buy and sell timeframe for advisors. Whereas an advisor may have been considering an exit strategy of 4 to 5 years, that has contracted considerably. And it's for a number of reasons, including how an advisor and their team is able to navigate during these unprecedented times. Pareto Systems recently introduced a robust program, Exceptional Teams, to position our teams, our clients, for franchise readiness and acquisitions. Our teams are customizing their teaming playbooks and are well equipped to consider options available. I would like to thank Scott, Charlie, Tanya, and Chris for taking the time to share your insights with our Pareto community. For now, take care and be well. Back to you, Duncan.
Okay, thanks, Marci. And thanks for powering through. I know we had some tech glitches there, bound to happen in this type of format. Chris and Tanya, I really like how you talk about making your clients the voice to help you shape your business going forward and make sure that they are aware of what you're doing and how it impacts them, and basically let them be part of the fact that you're growing together. The Azamont brand and everything you've done is just so incredibly impressive, and It's not going to surprise me if your part of the world is where I end up going first once we can start getting back on the road here. Looking forward to that. And of course, Scott and Charlie, you know, your humility and your mindfulness around just constantly being fee worthy is so very, very impressive. And yeah, again, we talk about friction and some of the things that you guys have had to deal with over the course of the last 6 to 12 months. But as you've seen, the mindset is when there is motion, good things can occur. And of course, you've absolutely mastered that concept, or at a very minimum, you're on a path to mastery. Because again, I know you're so incredibly understated around advocacy and the positioning of introductions as a service you provide. And through it all, representing the whole next-gen dynamic. It's so key because, again, so many of your clients have continuity, succession, and family investment legacy issues themselves. You've made yourself indispensable to your clients because of the steps you've taken. So thanks very much for your time and your insights. And yeah, we'll see you in Dallas soon. Okay.
Join us for the upcoming E-Mastermind with Duncan MacPherson, co-author of the Advisor Playbook, and a small group of like-minded top professional advisors for this 3-hour, fast-paced virtual event. Each mastermind has 10 available seats. With Duncan as the host and moderator, you'll get to hear what other top professionals are doing right now to come out of the current environment stronger than ever. This is not a pep talk, group hug, or lecturing data dump, but rather a productive, actionable conversation with a clear path for implementation. The E-Mastermind process includes a pre-mastermind consultation with Duncan, ensuring you get the most from your experience. Now, if you are an independent advisor with a growing team behind you and at least 10 plus years of industry experience, reach out to us today for pricing and to see if you qualify. With only 10 seats available, reach out to us today to learn more and set the path for explosive growth. See the description for details or call us at 1-866-593-8020. Unlock another level of productivity.